Hello students. So in the last class we have come across what are the different architecture levels like Harvard as well as Princeton or von Neumann architecture, and as well as what is meant by CISC and RISC, plus what are the selection criteria to select a microcontroller for any given applications, plus the different family members of your Intel 8051 and the application of your microcontroller. So today in this class just we'll have a quick glance with respect to the brief history of your Intel 8051. So in 1981, Intel Corporation introduced an 8-bit microcontroller. So this microcontroller called as 8051, and this microcontroller had 128 bytes of RAM and 4 kilobytes of on-chip ROM memory. Plus it had two timers, one serial port, and four I/O ports, all on a single chip. So at that time when it was invented, it was called as a system on chip. So 8051, as we said, it is a 8-bit microcontroller or 8-bit processor, means the CPU can work only on 8 bits of data at a time, and if the data is larger than 8-bit, then it has to be broken into pieces or chunks of 8 bits each to be processed by your CPU. So the Intel became widely popular after the 8051 became widely popular after Intel allowed other manufacturers to make and market any flavor of the 8051. Okay, with only a condition that the code has to remain compatible. The code has to remain compatible with the 8051. So that is a thing, or that is the reason why there are different versions of 8051 with the different operating speeds as well as different amounts of on-chip memory which are available in the market, right? So beginning with your the silent features of 8051. So it is a 8-bit CPU, means it can process operations on 8-bit data, plus it is having a 8-bit wide data bus, 16-bit wide address bus. So using 16 address lines, it can access 64 kilobytes of memory, plus it is having 32 general purpose registers, each of 8 bits, on chip clock oscillator circuit, 4 kilobytes of internal program memory or the code memory, 128 bytes of internal data memory, 128 bytes of internal data memory or the RAM memory. So using if the internal memory, whatever 128 bytes of RAM memory or your 4 kilobyte of internal ROM memory, if it is insufficient, then external memory can be connected, and the maximum memory which can be connected for your Intel 8051 is 64 kilobytes, because using 16 address lines it can access only 64 kilobytes of memory locations using 16 address lines. Plus it is having 32 bidirectional I/O lines which can be used as a group of or which can be considered as a 4 8-bit ports, or it can be used as a 32 individual addressable I/O ports, and these 4 ports, they are labeled as port 0, port 1, port 2 and port 3. 8051 consists of two 16-bit timers and counters labeled as T0 and T1, plus 8051 it is having 5 interrupts, 3 internal interrupts and 2 external interrupts, 1 serial communication port, 4 register banks, and each bank consists of 8 registers. Each bank consists of 8 registers, plus it is having one 16-bit program counter and one 16-bit data pointer register called as DPTR, plus 8-bit program status word, or sometimes even it is called as a flag register, 8-bit stack pointer, 5-vector interrupt structure, plus 8051 it consists of 8-bit ALU with its associated registers like register A and register B. Okay, plus we have the program status word or flag register, plus 16-bit register, program 16-bit program counter register, that is your register PC, as well as 8-bit register like stack pointer, or it may be your register SP, whatever thing. Okay, plus your 8051 ALU can perform arithmetic and logical operations on 8-bit variables. Plus 8051, as already said, it consists of 128 bytes of internal data memory. Internal data memory, that is your RAM memory, and this RAM memory is divided into 3 sections. So the initial out of 128 bytes, the initial 32 bytes of memory, having the address from 00 to 1F, it is reserved for working registers. So earlier we said 8051 is having 32 8-bit wide 32 registers. So in these memory locations, 32 bytes of initial RAM memory having the address from 00 to 1F, it is reserved for the working registers or your general purpose registers. And the next 16 bytes of memory having the address from 20 to 2F, okay, has been reserved for bit addressable memory. It is considered as a bit addressable memory. Then the remaining memory locations having the address from 30 to 7F, it is available for any of your general purpose, or even sometimes we call it as a scratch pad memory. Scratch pad memory means whenever the new data has been saved or when the new data is written into these memory locations having the address from 30 to 7F, first the earlier data will be erased and the new data will be stored in it. Plus sometimes we call it as general purpose because either it can be used to store your input values, or it can be stored the output values. It can be used for any purpose, either for storing your input or for storing the output. Plus your 8051, the time required for one machine cycle, the time required to execute one instruction or one machine, the time required for one machine cycle, it is 12 megahertz, and one machine cycle consists of 12 clock pulses. Okay, one machine cycle consists of 12 clock pulses. So that one machine, the time required for one machine cycle, that depends upon the operating frequency. For example, if your 8051 is operating at 12 megahertz, if it is operating at 12 megahertz, the time required for one machine cycle will be 1 microseconds. Next, beginning with the architecture of your 8051. So the 8051 is based on the Harvard architecture with the RISC concept. So basically your 8051, it consists of an 8-bit ALU plus one 8-bit program status register, that is nothing but your flag register, plus you have two special function registers or two registers which are working along with your ALU, that is your register A and B, plus you are having one 16-bit program counter register, one 16-bit DPTR, 128 bytes of RAM, and 4 KB of ROM memory, 4 KB of on-chip ROM memory, and 4 parallel IO ports, each of 8 bits wide. So 8051, which consists of an 8-bit ALU, can perform all the operations on 8-bit data, arithmetic and logical operations on 8-bit data in one machine cycle. So along with your ALU, two registers are being used. They are register A and B. So register A and B are special function registers which hold the results of many arithmetic as well as logical operations. The register A is also called as an accumulator because it is a general register to accumulate the results of a large number of instructions. By default, register A, it is used for all mathematical operations and also data transfer between CPU and memory. Whenever there is a data transfer from your CPU to the external memory, then it has to be done through or via register A. Plus your register B, it is used along with your register A in case of your multiplication and division operations. Except these two operations, your register B is not having any other function to perform. Just it can be used as a temporary storage device, or just it can be used as a location where the data can be saved or the data can be stored. Then we have the R registers. So basically earlier we said what in 8051 we are having 32 general purpose registers, each of 8-bit wide. So whatever the registers are there, they are grouped into memory banks, the initial memory locations having the address from 00 to 1F. 00 to 1F, these 32 bytes of memory Again, it is grouped into group of 8 bytes each, called as banks, and each bank consists of 8 registers or 8 memory locations where a byte can be saved. And these registers of your banks, they get identified with the labels called as R0 to R7. We have the register like R0, R1, R2, R3, R4, R5, R6 up to R7. Okay, so these registers, they can be used as auxiliary registers in many operations, or they can be used as a temporary storage devices or a temporary storage where the data can be stored temporarily. Then you have one 16-bit register, a special function register called as program counter. 8051 has a 16-bit program counter. So always your register PC, it points to the address of the next instruction which is to be executed, or we can say which is to be fetched from the memory. So whenever the instruction is fetched, automatically the PC is incremented to point to the address of the next instruction which is to be fetched or which is to be executed. So means whenever the 8051 or your microcontroller, it wants to read the data from the memory, it places the content on the PC on the address buses. The content of your address buses to fetch the desired instruction or to fetch the content from the desired memory location, right? And since the length of your PC is 16 bits wide, or in other terms we can say, as there are 16-bit wide address buses available, or in case of 8051 it requires a 16-bit address, maximum 16-bit address to access the content of your external memory. Then the address can range anywhere from, the address range can be in the range from 000H to FFFFH. H stands for your hexa, whatever the notation of the address we are speaking, it is in hexadecimal. Okay, so using 16-bit addresses, the maximum